Hello Virgo, I am Poetic Heretic, and this is your May 2017 Tarot Forecast. Now I am doing something a little different this month. I'm just going to shuffle the cards right on camera and draw them live on camera and see how that goes. And if it goes well, then perhaps I will do it this way from now on. So let us begin. First I like to just make sure the cards are mixed up in this way before I really shuffle them. Wow, I just kind of shook the table, but hopefully we're not out of focus or anything. Anyway, that should be good. Now, we would like a Celtic Cross forecast for the sign of Virgo for the month of May 2017. So let us see what we get. A Celtic Cross for Virgo for the month of May 2017. What deep spiritual insight does the universe have for the sign of Virgo for May 2017? Oops. That likes to happen from time to time. No matter how many times I shuffle the cards, no matter how used to it I get, it still happens. Ooh. There we go. The outside influences, the Queen of Wands, very powerful. The challenge card, the King of Cups. Oh, wasn't that interesting? So we're starting off with an adult female fire sign and an adult male water sign. Isn't that interesting? The energy of passion and determination, and then the challenge being the energy of creativity and emotional intelligence and the emotions in general. We'll get into it. The underlying energy, the Tower. Oh boy, there might be an intense revelation or even a disaster. Hopefully not a disaster, but the past and issues you've had to deal with. Queen of Swords reversed. Maybe you've had to deal with an adult female air sign who has been very bitchy, to be frank, or very difficult in a sort of nitpicky way. What you hope to achieve. The Nine of Pentacles reversed. The near future. The Three of Pentacles reversed. Your attitude or position on the situation. The Three of Swords. Look at those double threes there. It's interesting. I mean, this could be actually positive or negative. This isn't always a bad card, so we'll see what happens. The outside force coming in. The Seven of Cups reversed. Ooh, that's interesting. This implies the ending of a deception and or like the truth made clearer and stuff like that. So, and then with the Tower down here, this could be quite interesting. Maybe there's some intense like revelation coming your way. Let's see what the other cards have to say. Hopes or fears. The Wheel of Fortune, yep, that's looking more likely. And the outcome, Temperance reversed. Okay, interesting. All right. So you begin the month here with the Queen of Wands. Like I said, this could be an adult female fire sign, or this could be the energy of passion, determination, ambition, drive, motivation. When we have the Queen of Wands, this is like basically the emotions directing the will. So kind of think about that for a moment. The emotions directing the will. And this is also talking about your current outside influences right at the beginning of the month. And it's also the energy of conviction and resolve and courage and being very resolute and sure of oneself. So that's very positive indeed, that fiery passion and being resolute, basically. And then crossing over that is the King of Cups, the challenge. The challenge for your fire is water. This, of course, again, could take the form of an adult male water sign, and or this could be saying that the challenge will be emotions. The challenge will be emotional intelligence and clear communication and open and honest avowals of feelings, like being open with your feelings or someone else around you, maybe an adult male water sign being open with his feelings, things like that. And the King of Cups can also talk about understanding and creativity, all that kind of like emotional stuff, basically. That could be the challenge. It could even be saying, actually, also, that the challenge will be emotional balance in general, emotional stability. And the reason that might be the challenge is because down here, for the underlying energy, your foundations are possibly crumbling. Now, it might not actually be that bad, but the reason emotional balance could be the challenge is because there might be sudden occurrences, like one or more sudden occurrences that could be a sudden revelation. Now, sometimes this can actually be good. This can be an intense change that is preferable, that you want to happen. But at other times, this can be like a sudden change that you definitely don't want to happen. That is like a sudden revelation. But when it's the underlying energy, again, you could feel like the foundations are crumbling, like your foundations are crumbling, like you're not standing on solid ground, like you can't find solid ground, like you feel like it's difficult for you to stand your ground. And yet the interesting thing is, it's almost like you're doing it anyway with this Queen of Wands up here. It's like there's a storm brewing, and yet here you are braving the storm, basically. So that's very interesting, that dynamic is going on here. For the past and issues you've had to deal with, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So again, this could be an adult female air sign who has just irritated the hell out of you in the past. She would be someone who's very nitpicky, who perceives all the wrong things, even if they're true. She perceives things about you or others or both that you just think are ridiculous, and she's very judgmental and seems to make a big deal out of all these different little details and things like that. But in another sense, when we have the Queen of Swords reversed, this could be issues where it's been difficult for you to perceive clearly, basically. Where it's been difficult for you to be objective and rational. Where maybe you've been a little too subjective or prone to illusions. Notice coming up here we have the shattering of illusions, more or less, where you haven't been able to see clearly, haven't been thinking as clearly as you want to. This can even also, I believe, indicate bad friends and allies from time to time, and like untrustworthy allies, basically. So those issues could have been in your recent or not so recent past, leading to some upheaval, basically. And so you're having to really like stand your ground, as the Queen of Wands kind of does, even though you, Virgo, are of course an earth sign. you're still having to like stand your ground and not let this completely wreck everything, basically. And that's just backed up even more by the Nine of Pentacles reversed for what you hope to achieve. Because here this card's reversed, and so the implication, especially when it's going to reflect the underlying energy of the Tower, is like you're trying to overcome these upheavals and maintain your self-sufficiency. But the implication is also that there's a certain degree of success and pleasure and luxury that you can enjoy if you can just overcome these other things. And that's kind of what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to regain your total stability and actually enjoy your life and enjoy the things that you've worked so hard for, and enjoy your success, your total success for hard work that you have put forth. But you're feeling kind of blocked from that by these upheavals or this upheaval or sudden uncomfortable revelations or one or more people from your past that that's causing problems, basically. For the near future, the Three of Pentacles reversed. So it's a 3 reversed, so it's going to be issues surrounding communication, quite possibly. Poor communication. Could be difficulties working with someone, difficulties collaborating with someone, a deal that does not go well, kind of a disinterest in the more artistic side of work, because when this is upright, it can talk about like artistic and lucrative work, basically. Maybe even a feeling of apathy, not wanting to engage in more interesting and unique types of work, basically. That's a possibility as well. And that might be because you feel like you're dealing with other issues in other areas of your life, where all of a sudden work is your work life is kind of being like stripped away, or you feel like you have less time for it, less time to even worry about it, or maybe even less energy to get excited about it when you're dealing with these other things. Now, for your attitude or position on the situation about halfway through the month, you have the Three of Swords. So, from what I'm seeing here, I'm thinking that this is quite possibly going to take on a positive connotation in this spread. But I will give both interpretations to try to keep this as objective as possible, as I always strive to do. So first of all, in a positive sense, this could have you having fortitude during difficult times and bravely moving ahead. You're feeling very brave and like you know what to do and like you can stand your ground and weather the storm, basically. This is like laying it on the line, speaking regardless of consequence, telling it like it is. Even the sense of a confrontation or revelation. But yes, especially bravely moving ahead and fortitude during difficult times. That kind of strong, stable energy. Now, again, that's the one I think is the most likely, but if it's going to take on a negative connotation, well, this card in a negative sense can mean all kinds of things. Trouble, shock, worry, agitation, frustration, concern, antagonism, anxiety, being challenged from other people giving you trouble, disappointment, deceptions, conflict, disruption of daily activities, disruption of your schedules, and disruption of how you expect things to go regularly, communication breakdown, communication issues. I mean, it is a long list of negative possibilities, but again, fortunately, especially when we've got this Queen of Wands back here, I'm thinking that it's much more likely to be the positive meanings, only because that's backed up by the other cards, especially the Queen of Wands. For the outside force coming in, we have the Seven of Cups reversed. So let's try to dig in and analyze this properly. First of all, it's a 7 reversed, so 7s are going to talk about relationships. And the reversal, especially with what this card indicates, could mean like the ending of a relationship, and I'm like trying to put this the right way, like any type of relationship, potentially, I should say. The ending of that because of some kind of truth coming out. Again, with the Tower and even the Three of Swords, we could have like some kind of revelation coming out, something coming to light. And, you know, it's like this as the outside force coming in could connect in with this, in this, and this could basically be the revelation that reveals the truth, that ends the deception, that shatters the illusions, and makes the truth much more apparent. But as a result of that, a relationship might end. Now, that's not always going to be the case. It could be that the truth is revealed, in a sense, deception is ended or uncovered, and it doesn't even really have anything to do with a relationship ending, or maybe not even a relationship per se at all. It could just be that something happens that really clarifies things. Because when the Seven of Cups is upright, it often talks about illusions and sort of otherworldliness. Well, when it's reversed, the implication is very often that you're seeing clearer, that those illusions are fading, and the perception is accurate. So maybe in the past you did not perceive so accurately. You struggled to perceive accurately, but were unable to. Now you've regained your footing, in a sense, and as a result of that, before you know it, you are going to be perceiving accurately and seeing the truth, seeing things for what they are. And that's, of course, always what you want to do. Don't hide from the truth. That only makes things worse. For your hopes or fears, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So I've heard it said that whenever this card shows up in a reading, it's basically change is guaranteed to happen. And that indeed seems to be what we're seeing here with the Tower and some of these other cards. Things are changing, but this is in your hopes or fears, so it's like you're hoping for the change to take place and the cycles to continue moving. You're hoping for that, but on another level, since this is hopes or fears, you could be afraid that it's too much change. You could be afraid that these things coming to light are too much, and perhaps you don't want to deal with them. But at the same time, it's like part of you knows it's inevitable, and you're hoping that you can work with the energy, and again, with the Nine of Pentacles here, that you can achieve your self-sufficiency and success and enjoying the pleasures of life. Because when this card is reversed, it can mean monotony, habituation, dullness, things like that. But you're trying to overcome any of that. Although, well, that said, you might not have so much of that with the Tower down here, but But in a pure sense, that's what this can mean, particularly in a work situation. So again, with the whole work aspect of things, it could be that part of your life is suddenly not so exciting for a time because of all this other craziness going on. But simply put, you're wanting to overcome any obstacles and regain your sense of enjoying life, basically. So for the outcome card, we have Temperance reversed. So this could mean perhaps a couple of things. For one, unfortunately, it might not be a happy ending. It might be that things are still imbalanced, that now that the truth has come out, you're not exactly in a state of peace. But it might also really be pointing to the search for meaning and purpose. Temperance is highly associated with that, basically. You might end the month kind of in the state of wondering, what does it all mean? What is the reason that this is happening? What is the purpose? And if you're not careful, you might even slip into this feeling of like, oh, it's all meaningless. There's no purpose to all of this. There's no reason for any of this whatsoever. But that's just not accurate, and the reversal of this card indicates that. The reversal of this card says that you want to focus on the purpose and the meaning of things, and kind of think of it philosophically, basically. And also, if you can, reach for a sense of optimism rather than pessimism, because when this is a reversal, this can even be a sense of pessimism or depression. And so instead, if you want to take the advice of this card, optimism is what you want to reach for. And in other decks, this card is known as art. And so maybe even doing something artistic, getting into art or getting even more into art will be beneficial to you. And I have seen so much evidence before that getting into all forms of art is extremely therapeutic and really gets you in touch with the real self. It's like virtually any form of art is going to encourage your true self to come out, and the true expression of your real, authentic self. And that can be why it feels so good and why it's so therapeutic and why so many people love it. And again, remember, by art, I'm talking, music, poetry, drawing, painting, anything that could be considered art. So don't think I'm just talking about like drawing or whatever here. I'm talking about any form of self-expression could be highly beneficial to you this month, especially around the end of the month. And even when we go back here to the King of Cups, as what may help or hinder, he's just backing that up too, saying that creativity can be helpful to you, and emotional intelligence, things like that. Getting in touch with the inner world through art, particularly, or just in general, will be very beneficial to you indeed. And so I would say reach for that, and that may be perhaps above all else what Temperance is advising you to do. And again, also the idea of philosophy and learning. Maybe take the time to do some reading. In fact, my advice to people is always that I basically believe everyone should be taking some time to read every single day because it's so beneficial. So, find a subject that interests you. Doesn't really matter what it is, just find something that interests you and take the time to do some reading. Read up on that subject and just do it for the pleasure of it and the enjoyment of it, but also for the deep meaning of it. Find that meaning that you are searching for. So there you go, Virgo. I guess that was quite quite a bit to say there. I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of these cards here, and I hope you have a really great month. It looks like more or less you're, braving the storm basically, and I think if you follow my advice, you'll find that you have quite the enjoyable month, as you already have your sights set on enjoying your life. Alright, so this has been a tarot forecast for the sign of Virgo for the month of May 2017 from Poetic Heretic. Don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.